Yo, what is up, guys? Konami has absolutely blessed us with a whole bunch of new cards in the shop. This includes a new selection pack, and we also have 3 good secret packs, each coming with its own amazing deck and some new cards to go with it. First, I want to start off by talking about the Pirellis. Now, Pirellis were the top deck at one point, but now, not only are they getting their own new secret pack, but it's also coming with a spicy new little card, which you can see in the starting screen. Pirelli Noir is the new Exceed monster that Pirelli is getting. So how do you summon these rank 2 Exceeds in a deck that only has level 1s in it? Well, each of these level 1s says that it can use itself and a quick play spell that is written on the card to make an Exceed. Now in this case you're going to be using Sleepy Memory. And Sleepy Memory has always been one of the most awkward cards in this deck, right? Because it's a card that you always want to get to. You always want to at least attach one, because each of the quick play spells gives a Pirelli Exceed a bonus effect as long as it's underneath it. And Sleepy Memory actually allows you to draw one, and it's not once per turn, so it's very abusable. I've seen people draw up to 6 cards with this on their opponent's turn, using a technique that I'm going to talk about later. But it was always kind of awkward because unlike all the other Pirelli quick play spells, you never really had an Exceed attached to it. Okay, so sometimes you get like these awkward hands where you only have Sleepy Memory and then your opponent stops you getting from what you want to get to, and now you just can't Exceed. You don't have an Exceed to go into. But this card actually fixes all of that. And we haven't even gone into what Pirelli Noir does yet. It's already kind of amazing. So what it does is that it has a good turn 2 effect of you discard one card, then it says target 1, but realistically you're always going to have Sleepy Memory under this, so you can always target 2 cards. But yeah, you target 2 cards your opponent controls, you bounce them back to the hand. Now its second effect is where it gets very interesting, right? Up to thrice per turn, so you can trigger this thing 3 times. When you activate your Pirelli quick play spell, you can quick effect attach that quick play spell to this card, and then you set a Pirelli trap from the deck. Now, sucking up a quick play spell is already good enough because it's going to build to things that I'm going to talk about later, and also each of them comes with a bonus effect as well. But why is this so good? What Pirelli trap are we going to be setting? Pirelli Yeep. Okay. What this card does is that you target a Pirelli Exceed you control and you slap on another Pirelli Exceed with a different rank. Now this is actually good for 2 reasons. One of the reasons is that I told you that you could abuse Sleepy Memory before to draw up to 6 cards. So how do you do that? First of all, you have to find a way to put 3 Sleepy Memory under your Pirelli Noir, because Sleepy Memory's draw effect is not once per turn. So you can draw up to 3 times if you have 3 attached to it. Then what you do is that you use Pirelli Yeep to slap on a different monster, and all of those draw effects get reset and you're allowed to draw another 3 times. Okay, so already you're drawing a whole hand on your opponent's turn. And that's not even mentioning you probably have My Friend, which gives you recursion if your monster leaves the field. That doesn't even mention Stray, which makes any Pirellis you summon this turn untargetable. And if your Pirelli Exceed leaves the field by your opponent's card, like even by Kaiju's, this thing can summon a level 1 from the deck to set up for your next turn. Okay, so we have draw 6 on your opponent's turn, and then if they remove your Exceed, you get back 3 cards, and you also summon a level 1 to get back even more cards. So you just recurred 4 cards. And now for the Exceed that you're actually going to be ranking up into. We are going to be slapping on X Pirelli Noir. Now this thing is an absolute powerhouse, and it is by far like the reason why Pirelli was able to dominate this game before. So what this card says is that if you have 5 materials under it, and we just established that Pirelli likes to put a bunch of materials under their Exceeds. Okay, but if this thing has 5 or more materials, it is completely unaffected by card effects. Now, when you think about all of those Pirelli quick play spells, giving this thing bonus effects in addition, like that's already insane. But it has another effect. Non-once per turn. This is not a once per turn effect. You can detach 2 materials to spin a card from their field or graveyard back into the deck. Putting things back into the deck completely plays around any kind of floating effects they may have when they would get destroyed or removed. Like, it doesn't matter. You spin it back to the deck, it's not going to trigger. Also, if being able to hit the field wasn't good enough, being able to snipe your opponent's graveyard is just so disgusting. Like, it's one of the most vulnerable places in Yu-Gi-Oh! Having your opponent mess with your graveyard can sometimes completely shut you down. So just to recap, we have a potential draw 6, +5 in recursion, the field spell is protecting us from being targeted. On top of that, it's unaffected, and you can keep spinning your opponent's cards. Now, when you stack all of that up together, it makes for an absolutely insane, incredible deck that is very hard to beat, like especially turn 1. So let's get our free pull and see how it goes. Oh, got an SR! An SR, baby! Oh, let's go, let's go. What am I gonna get, man? That's our SR, that's our SR. Speedroids! Ooh! No, I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. It's good. It's alright. I think this is actually one of the better ones, right? Yeah, it is. It's one of the better ones in the Speedroid deck. But yeah, I'm not looking for that today. Let's move on to one of the most troll decks of all time, Makanko. Now, the Makanko secret pack, like, it has all the cards that you need for it. What Makanko wants to do is that it's super troll. You go second, and then cheese your opponent's life points away by attacking him with 0 attack monsters, and then deflecting the damage back onto them. This is the go-to going second deck. But let's look at some of the new cards. What do we have here? We have a ritual monster, like a new ritual monster. It's level 9. It's absolute trash, like it's not needed. But what we actually have is Makanko Spirit Walk. Now, Makanko Spirit Walk, what it does is that you get to target one of your opponent's monsters and you equip it to your card. It's quick effect removal. I mean, Makanko already had like a decent going first, but this like kind of makes it a bit spicier. Like, it lets you do some different stuff with your going first board. Also, you get to banish it from the graveyard and summon a bunch of Makankos from the hand or banish zone, which can also block some damage as well. So Makanko is a very strong deck, going first or going second. It got a little bit of support, but nothing too crazy. But the main thing is that this actually does have a secret pack now. But anyway, let's get ourselves that free pack. Oh, another SR! Oh, snap, okay. Okay, Konami, I see you. Oh, two SR. Oh, okay. What? That is like the main card. Is that the main card? It's the one where you bounce. Yeah, return that monster. So you equip this to your opponent, return that, then special summon your Makanko. With this equipped, damn, oh my gosh, that's insane. Insane pull. This is like the main one. Okay, we're moving on to the main secret pack here. The top tier Rescue Team Emergency Dispatch. This secret pack brings a bunch of Rescue Race cards together in one place, so it's actually a lot easier for you to make this deck. You just have to pull from this pack and you don't really have to craft much. Okay, it's kind of hard for me to explain what Rescue Race does, but basically they summon their fire hydrant and then they have a card called Turbulence, which sets 4 speller traps from the deck. Okay, so it's like a +4, and then they have like target removal, you have recursion, you have negation. All of these cards also, they gain a boost when you have fire hydrant. In fact, I never even noticed this before, but yeah, hydrant is actually the one who's putting up all of these signs, so you know, it actually somewhat blends together with the lore. But let's look at some of those new cards. The first one I'm going to talk about is the monster Rescue Ace Preventer. You banish 1 Rescue Ace from the graveyard to summon this card, so it is easy to summon. If you have another Rescue Ace, this thing actually quick effect flips. Now, I didn't even know it did that at first. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished Rescue Ace monsters and you summon it back, which is very easy to set up because Turbulence and this card banish cards from the graveyard, so you know, it's not that hard. This card is amazing. It extends your combos, quick effect flips, it does a lot for you. But the real card that breaks this deck is Emergency. Now, Emergency at first glance, it doesn't even look that great, right? Because you special summon a Rescue Ace from the deck, which is absolutely insane. But you have to tribute a Rescue Ace after you do it. Oh, and by the way, you do tribute after as part of the effect. It's not part of the cost. So if it gets stopped by something like Ash or like Judgment or something like that, you don't have to tribute the monster. But yeah, it turns out, even though you have to tribute a Rescue Ace, this thing is absolutely insane, right? It completely changed up the whole deck. At first, Hydrant used to be your main starter, but because of this one card, it's just completely changed how the deck is run now. Now your actual starter is Airlifter. Airlifter adds Emergency, and Emergency can summon anything you want. You can summon Turbulence from the deck, which sets 4 cards. You can summon Hydrant to add Turbulence and then do your whole wombo combo and whatnot. This is what takes this deck from a rogue deck into something which could actually be the top deck in the game. Okay, now I've rambled on about Rescue Ace enough. Let's see what we get from our free pull. Okay, the SR trainers run dry. Okay. You know what? Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Now it's time to move on to Nightmare Arrivals. Now we have a whole bunch of new cards in here. We have all of that stuff that we talked about before. So we have our Noir, our Extinguished, our Mechanical Trap, all that good stuff from the other selection packs. But we also have a bunch of bonus stuff as well, including new support for older archetypes, as well as support for one of Yugi's coolest looking fusion monsters, which also comes with a whole new type for this game. First of all, Altergeist. Altergeist is the deck of the Ghost from Yu-Gi-Oh! Reigns, a master hacker for hire. This deck revolved around slowly controlling the Dawn with monster and trap effects, while looping a card called Multi-Faker, which could summon itself and an Altergeist from the deck. This Link 4, as well as some other Altergeist support, has seriously buffed this deck's turn 1. Next up is Dinos. Evil Zalaz is a generic rank 6, which has a pretty good negate effect on it, but if you use Dinos and Reptiles, it only has to pay half the cost, giving it a bonus activation. Evil Zar got a huge boost in this pack, pushing it to the modern format, and Pure Dinos even got some good fusion support, which helps generate these level 6s. Now we get to talk about Vader. Now, Vader is a new Visa Starfrost archetype. If you don't know what Visa Starfrost is, he's the guy who connects Tier Elements to Kashteras, to Vanadium, and some other decks too. I think the lore behind it is that there are alternate versions of him. The Vaders are all kind of gimmicky. They want you to blow up your own cards, but they don't actually provide a way for you to blow up your own cards. The Pendulum monster in particular wants you to do it 4 times. It does have a strong effect, but I just don't see the point. It's worth noting that while Vader is complete ass, it does come with a gorgeous wallpaper. Look at some Samsara looks absolutely beautiful, but that's all it's got going for it. The cards are still ass. On to my favourite deck here. It's based around one of Yugi's fusion monsters, Chimera, King of Mythical Beasts. Now, you don't have to play the original because all of these fusions become Chimera while they're on the field or in the graveyard, but this pack does come with a card called Fusion Armament, which can summon the original straight from the extra deck. Supporting this is the brand new Illusion type. Now, all the illusions have this generic effect of when they battle, nothing gets destroyed, only the damage goes through. 2 of these illusion monsters are absolutely amazing for this deck. We have a Summoner and a Searcher, and if that wasn't enough for you, both of those double as negation in the graveyard while you control your Chimera. And that is the end of the new cards. Did I miss anything? Tell me in the comments below. These are new cards to me too, something we can experience together. I'll see you in the next video, and goodbye.